The LA Gladiators has just staved off getting reverse swept for the second time in a row with a 3-2 victory over the Houston Outlaws. And with that, they hold the 4th place spot in our Stage 3 standings. And they are the key holders to their Stage 3 playoff hopes. So we're going to see what they do next week. They'll be facing off against the Florida Mayhem next week. Speaking of the Mayhem, our next matchup is the Florida Mayhem going up against the hometown LA Valiant. Now, the last time these two teams faced off, the Florida Mayhem shocked the LA Valiant with a 3-1 victory. And with the LA Valiant in prime position to make it into the Stage 3 playoffs, they cannot afford the same result. We got tons of LA Valiant fans in the house right now. What about the Florida Mayhem, though? Any Florida Mayhem fans in here? So it's actually a pretty split crowd today. Home field advantage, it does mean a lot, believe it or not, guys. So Blizzard Arena, make some noise one last time. It's our final match of the night, and we're gonna go ahead and get this thing breaking down with our host, Puckett, at the desk. Take it away, man.
Thank you so much, Malik. That's right. We got a whole lot of banana colors here in the audience today. A lot of yellow jerseys representing the Florida Mayhem, who are on the up and up. But today, they're going up against a very tough Valiant squad that's trying to match their counterparts, the Gladiators, in the playoff hunt here, guys. They need a win.
They absolutely do. The LA Valiant, even though they don't play NYXL this stage, and so it was kind of set up for them in some sense to make the playoffs, they need this win because the next 2 games that they have next week, Boston, Philadelphia, really tough schedule. We've already seen the Gladiators are starting to creep up on them.
In the Mayhem, this is a match where they're actually a pretty decent threat, Brent. If you look back at the previous matchups, Florida's got the best of the Valiant in the past.
Exactly. Like Malik was saying just a moment ago, this is a grudge match between these teams. Florida took the last outing. It was a 3-1 victory and a very, it was an upset, we could just say, because Florida were considered the weaker team at the time. Valiant coming out of this now, they are definitely going to be coming out for revenge. They do not want to disappoint. And this was also before both teams got their new additions, the recent players being picked up for both sides. So realistically, this match still up in the air, despite the fact that they are such a big difference between them on the standings.
Well, the best part is you see it closed out with a win on Route 66. Today, we see Junkertown. So some new maps here if you're a Valiant fan. Don't worry about that. As you mentioned, though, a lot of new additions to the lineups as well. And we've got to start here with Florida because they have staffed up. We were super excited when we first heard they were putting Zappis on the lineup. Haven't seen a whole lot of Zappis, but the other guys, we're seeing them all the time. We're talking about Saya Player and Awesome Guy.
Zappis and Swoosh have been warming the bench up while Saya Player and Awesome Guy tear the field up. These two have been great additions to the Florida Mayhem, particularly Saya Player. You can really feel his impact whenever he moves over onto Widowmaker, when they get him on McCree, these type of heroes, he can take over a game. And so LA Valiant, they've got to be very careful. If they let this guy run wild on a lot of these Widowmaker maps, they're in for a bad time.
So that's 9 players, as you saw on the Florida Mayhem lineup. On the other side for the Valiant, they've also made some moves since the last meetup. Brent, who have they staffed up on?
Yeah, big names coming in with the additions of Bunny, Space, and Custer. These guys have come in, and KSF to say as well. We saw him play recently. Didn't have the greatest of first performances.
He had a rough Blizzard World.
It was very rough, but I'm excited to see if he's capable of a bit more. But this squad now, Valiant, are really looking like a top contender in Stage 3. Very impressive turnaround compared to Stage 2.
Absolutely, and as we mentioned, here in Stage 3, 4 teams will be playing in the title matches next Sunday. Valiant currently in the number 3 position. Today, they're looking to improve their odds, and we got to get the official predictions to kick this one off. Clearly, Florida's the underdog, right, Brent?
I mean, as well, the numbers would signify that Florida are the underdog, and I will agree with that much. There's still a potential here for Valiant to be upset, given the fact that they are in a bit of a slump. They've lost their last 2 matches. However, I'm still going to be going with LA Valiant for my prediction. I still think that they are going to be able to take it. They seem like the stronger team on paper. Again, Florida, there's still potential there to upset my prediction at least, but I'm expecting Valiant to come away with a strong win here.
Josh, we've seen Florida win back-to-back wins. They're just 2-5 here in Stage 3, but they're getting it done recently. Can they get it done today?
Yeah, this is Flame's idea of a win streak, right?
Right? Yeah, 2-0.
But I think I've got to agree with Brent. I'm going for the LA Valiant here in this prediction for this match, but what I think is that the Florida Mayhem, if they can get the gears rolling and get Saya Player having a good streak, this match should be a lot closer than the standings would indicate. There is potential for an upset. I think LA Valiant look beatable at the moment, but they should be able to claw it back.
Excuse me, LA fans. Anyone agree with our analysts here? Anyone like LA today?
Probably
Valiant?
not. It is
Maybe a few? All right, well, let's go ahead and introduce them to your stage. Please put your hands together and welcome your Los Angeles Valiant. 5-2 in stage 3. That's number 3 out of our 12 teams, looking to make it 6 wins. Will they be able to get it over the Mayhem? It looks like Bunny's back into the starting lineup alongside Soon.
They were playing this Genji Tracer style of Volskaya a couple of times before, and it failed quite disastrously when they tried to run it. A lot of teams, almost all of the teams in the league, run a Widowmaker when you're trying to attack Volskaya point A, and then soon will go over to either a McCree or something like this for point B. And I like that they're moving back to this more conventional style. You know, you tried it out, you tried the more aggressive, fast-paced approach. It didn't work. The LA Valiant at the moment seem to be playing their best when they slow the game down a little.
Absolutely, and I mean, a big part of that is Space coming into this roster as well. He's been a huge addition for them, and he's coming as well for MB, but soon as well, this fan favorite can always turn up as well. High mechanical skill coming out from him, and that does show that they are going to be returning, as you said, Citra, to that Widowmaker-oriented play style on Volskaya Industries. Now, what I'm expecting from this game is going to be a strong performance. However, still potential there for Florida to take it. Again, don't want to say it's going to be too one-sided, but still, should be a good game.
There's a look at Custa as well, the player that was brought over from the Dallas Fuel, making a huge impact so far for the Valiant in stage 3. You got your starting 6. Look for a lot of roster mix-ups as this series continues. But it's time to find out who is Florida bringing out today. Please welcome the Florida Mayhem. Florida this week jumped up over the Dallas Fuel. They're currently 10th overall. They've been improving slowly. They're looking to finish the season strong. Will they be able to play spoiler today to Los Angeles' hopes? We're going to find out, and you can see they're bringing out Saya Player, an awesome guy once again.
They are. They're playing a default kind of composition for Volskaya. Both teams going to be centered around this Widowmaker, and Florida Mayhem really needs Saya Player to have the game of his life to be able to carry this match away. But Cyplayer has been putting up those kind of performances pretty consistently. Ever since this guy's been added into the league at the beginning of stage 3, he's had a masterclass performance on Widow, especially against other Widowmakers. It's going to put a lot of pressure on Soon.
Yeah, this has been one of the biggest surprises for me personally coming into this league as well with the addition of Sire Player in this roster is actually how much it has helped Florida. I mean, having a consistent Widowmaker in a meta game that does feature and revolve around her so much
and a map
is so helpful.
Well.
Yeah, and the map pool as well. All these maps that we're seeing in stage 3 really do fit the Widowmaker playstyle that much better. So Florida do have a very big opportunity here today, as well as with Awesome Guy as well to help them lead that with that main tank position. They definitely have an opportunity today to take an upset and play spoiler to LA Valley.
Fellas, I have a quick question for you. Just looked up at Florida's seating order. They have Saya Player positioned between Manitin and Zebasai, with Zebasai tilting his monitor towards Saya Player. Is this on purpose? Does it mean anything? What does this look like as these players play together?
I have no idea, but Zebasai always plays with his monitor tilting.
Gangster lean.
Yeah, I think it's to avoid himself tilting in game. You know, he just gets the tilt out of the way early on.
It's all about the balance for the bearded one. That's a look at your Florida Mayhem. It's nothing like console esports where you sit next to the guy you work with. Let's get into the match. It's Valiant versus the Florida Mayhem. Make some noise as we send it to our casters. It's Semler with Hex.
Thank you, Pocket. And I would expect, I know,
sing-songy.
Yeah, but I would expect a veteran of your stature to understand what's going on there with the lean on the monitor, man. Come on.
Yeah, there's previous games. Well, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Previous games. Yeah, you can say that. You can say the names.
Used to play Quake. A lot of Quake players have very odd configurations. Keyboards on the lap, mouse right here. Actually, Sinatra plays in a really weird way.
Listen, we can tie this back into Overwatch. Take Rafa for example. Rafa, he is a sick Overwatch player, but also the god of Quake. And the way that he sat was, monitor super tilted, only his mouse hand, his elbow on the table, and then his keyboard in his lap. And that's just, a bit more ergonomic, allows them to get closer in. And that's a very Quake kind of setup.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of very funky things going on there. And you will see it across a lot of Overwatch players, just random weird setups about how they like to play. All right, so we are going into Volskaya Industries. As the desk mentioned, the Valiant last time they were on this map tried to run full dive offense, full dive defense. It didn't work, period, didn't work. But yeah, they're not gonna run it now because they don't have Agilities in. So Agilities would be the guy that you would tip off to the other team that that's what they were going to run. Even though Fate's on the Genji, I don't think we're gonna see that. It's going to be Widow Tracer versus Widow Tracer. No surprises here. That's the world we live in right now, especially when it comes to Volskaya at point A. This is one of the better chances for Florida to step out to a lead. They actually do have a better record than the Valiant on this map, and then it gets a little rougher as we go through, so they need to steal this one early on.
This is one of the things, Hex. I mean, we've had plenty of conversations about Florida. There's always something to nitpick there, but in terms of Florida, they always seem to play up to the level of their opponents, and so now it's just going to be a matter of tipping it over the edge. Don't just play to the level. Surpass your opponents, Florida. Get the W versus Valiant. You can definitely do it. It is absolutely possible. So, let's go. Attack is kicking off. Los Angeles Valiant on the offense as the away team. Florida Mayhem as the home team on the defense. And well, already soon, no surprise here, on the Widow.
Yeah, you saw him take that early shot there, and that's because if there's a D.Va out there, you want to get that extra damage in there. We saw earlier trying to get an honest sleep dart on that poking D.Va, the scouting D.Va, if you will. And now it's just a matter of which team can get the picks first. A big jump in comes from the tanks of Florida.
And unfortunately for them, they don't get the healing. Manitin instantly deleted. I mean, soon finds a headshot on Baby D.Va, but more importantly, there's the D-Mech happening there on Manitin so quickly. That is going to put Florida in a bit of a tight spot here. Saya player is stepping up with the help of his Tracer, rather. He does find one, but then Bunny eliminates the back line. Bunny. It's the perfect counter coming in from Valiant.
Bunny has carried this team in a lot of situations lately. Of course, Numbani comes to mind where he just absolutely clutched it out for this team, and what a boon he has been to the DPS line of the Los Angeles Valiants. And while you're looking one way, trying to deal with Soon, Bunny's in your back line, killing all your dudes. That's an easy point A for Valiant.
Quick take, nearly 7 minutes in the bank to work on this B point. So it is going to be a quick change of roles as well coming in here from Valiant. As far as Soon, well, heroes, let's say. Soon is going to swap over to the McCree, no time wasted there. And over on the defense, Tavik is now playing on the Junkrat, so he wants to get that spam going.
Yeah, an insta-switch from Soon. A lot of teams don't want to run the Widow on the second point here. Tavik goes down very early to Kareev, one of the most dangerous support players in all of the league. We'll insta-res him, though. Bunny's, it would be the guy to watch. You gotta watch his pulse bomb. He's gonna be checking left side. This is where a lot of the Tracer duels on this map happen.
Yeah, instantly taking the fight to Saya player. It seems like he's getting the edge in that fight as well. Although as Saya gets the orb, Harmony from his Zen, he will kind of pull ahead in that duel. So we'll see. It's just going to be the constant poke war between these two until Saya player somehow just completely pulls a fast one there on Bunny.
Yeah, that's really important. I don't think he's died in a resable position either, and they will continue to go at this one. However, Valiant still want to play into this. Dying with Primal Rage means that they might not be committing too much more. Soon is going to try to back out. He's going back to his healers. Meanwhile, Florida gets themselves back up to full strength.
They should totally back. That one poke just forces the Valk out his Eva side. Now you just go ahead, chill out 15 seconds, wait for those wings to get folded back in. And now you've got a big advantage going for this next push. If you're the Valiant, you've got both Kareev and Custa with ults online.
Yeah, you know, I'm not rooting against Florida. I actually think it's going to be a much closer match than people would think. I agree with the desk in that aspect, but I do want to see them push to the brink because last time Tavik had to go panic Doomfist, and he got 2 kills to save the point for him. It was a thing of beauty.
Any excuse to see some Doomfist play, man. Let's go. All right, well, we already have the engage coming in here from Valiant. Side player doing the best that he can here. Stay alive. On the point, gets punted in the face immediately, but the big kill there is Zupe finding Bunny. So yet again, Bunny the first to die, and just like that, they're going to start backing off Valiant. And that fight didn't go too quick to the point where the what is it? The supports, obviously. The supports for Valiant, sometimes you just, a word just disappears completely. The supports, they haven't used their ult, so they can still just keep this rolling here, Valiant.
It's going to be more important, I think, for Bunny just to stay alive so that the focus can't go front center on Soon. He wants to be able to poke at people without being the center of attention. He's the center of attention yet again as Tavik will take Soon down and they will jump on it to prevent the res. There goes Kareev. And for all intents and purposes, this fight is over. Good defense so far.
Yeah, so far they've been finding those opening kills, forcing the Valiant to second guess themselves, not really throw too much into these fights, and so it seems like we're gonna have a little bit more of a drawn-out kind of battle here on the B point as Valiant will just continue to try and farm up some ults. We see a change coming in here from Soon as well.
Yeah, very interesting switch. A lot of people will not run the Widow here because the sight lines are not that great, but if Florida's not expecting this, they won't know to play around those sight lines. So it's really about the scouting information as early as possible. You see Soon was playing very far back, trying to get a sneaky shot in, but now they know he's on the field. Not going to be peeking their heads out as much.
Not as much. With that pillar in the way, though, there is a little bit of an angle there for Florida to work with. Tvik taking some risks, still taking a look out there, but the tire's going to get thrown into the mix. Now we'll see if Soon can pick it up. No, he misses the chance. Great cover there from Manitin as well with the D-Matrix.
Yes, exactly what I was going to talk about. It used to be a joke like, oh, let me just guide this tire in with my D-Matrix. Maybe that'll work. It actually does work, at least for those short distances, because pros have been so good at taking out tires lately. Stage 3, I mean, tires have just been deflated at a rapid rate.
Yeah, that was sick play from Manitin. He is usually Johnny on the spot there. Bunny, however, will be able to find the one. Manitin now going for the self-destruct. Let's see if he can get the remake, though. There's nobody really to challenge him. He will find a safe corner to get it going in, and Zupe there with the trance as well, just to ensure that his teammates do not go up and smoke. Zebasai, however, it's a bit late for him. He's dead, but Zupe finds the headshot on Bunny. That's going to slow things down further here for Valiant, although it looks like they kind of want to keep pushing on this. Fate has gone for the Primal. We have a couple of kills coming in here for the home team.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be enough considering all the kills still coming out for the defense. A nice spawn camp by Fate is going to put Zebo right back in spawn, and that never feels good to spend more of your game in spawn than you are out of it. He's being well acquainted with those walls, but no problem. The rest of his team is there. And Zebo, even though he died to that self-destruct, it was because he was out of position a little bit to try to res his main tank up. He knows how important those big bodies are on this point, so it was also a really nice angle self-destruct from Space, who's been so impressive ever since he joined this roster.
Yeah, Space has been the standout player for sure, along with Bunny. But right now, I mean, Los Angeles Valiant, they are finding it very difficult to crack this open. After the first push where they managed to make all this progress, they haven't really gotten too much going for themselves here. Now, it is kind of what we were wondering, you know, what kind of level are Valiant going to be able to play up at 2 here? But now, yet another push coming through. They are going to start working their way in there. Tvik with the tire yet again, and the D-Mac on Space immediately there.
Yeah, takes him out. They will res Awesome Guy again. Awesome Guy's playing super aggressive. It seems like they're allowing him what he needs to do. They know if you die, it's fine. He's gotten res so many times already this game. Gonna have to jump back to his healers again.
It's looking like they're feeling the heat here. Valiant deciding to throw in. Finally, Kariv with that Transcendence there to ferry his team onto the point. Both tanks still healthy here for the Valiant. And we've got Custo with the wings out as well. The chain heals could make the difference. Or a massive self-destruct from Space. Zupe and Tvik followed by Zebasai. Everybody on Florida Mayhem dead. And it's just going to be the last there. Saya player trying to delay just a little while longer, but it's not going to be enough.
You talk about a game of inches and or seconds. Zupe's ultimate came online just a split second as that self-destruct came off. Had he transcended, he keeps himself alive and stalls that out. His Mercy also was getting close to the Valkyrie right there. Let's take another look at it right now.
Yeah, from on high as well. I like it.
Yeah, there's that self-destruct on the point. You can see Zupe has it online, just does not pop it in time. It's very, very close, though. It had just come online. Maybe he thought he was out of the destruct wave. Maybe he thought a bubble was coming down. I'm not entirely sure, but that's one of
Stepped
those...
out into the open there from around the corner.
Yeah, it's one of those small things that if he gets that transcend off, it probably stalls it out long enough to get wings up, and then you get 1 or 2 kills. And you know what really bugs me about that? We almost got to see Panic Doomfist again from Tvik, very likely in that situation. Not going to be the case, though. And 1:33 left on the clock. It seems like it took them a really long time for B, but that's because their point A offense was blistering.
Yeah, it was super quick. So now it's on Florida Mayhem here to show us what they're capable of on the offense as the countdown begins to get the action started. As far as Los Angeles Valiant are concerned, they're sticking to their guns. Soon is going to be on that Widow with Bunny on the Tracer. Over on Florida Mayhem side, yeah, we'll see what they decide to actually stick with here. That would be interesting to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, I really doubt that we'll see anything. Well, that we'll see. I know he's not going to play Reinhardt. That's not happening. I really doubt we'll see anything except for Saya on Widowmaker, and Tvik will very likely go over to the Tracer. Although Tvik, I think Tvik's been playing much better Stage 3 than he had in Stage 1 and 2, particularly. I think his hero pool has rounded itself out. His Genji has looked much more impressive lately. And this wouldn't surprise me in the least, is run a Genji Widow, run something a little bit different, but...
Do you think he needed a fire lid under him? I mean, because now, you know, there is actual competition for the DPS spot. It's no longer that fixed roster. Logix is waiting on the bench.
I think it helped everyone from Florida to have more than 6 players on your roster. I mean, overall. I mean, Zappas comes in, he has a big brain, so it helps them out already just planning his strategy, kind of a player coach type. But these are all veterans. But now, you know that playing time could be limited if you don't play well.
Oh, focus fire straight up onto Custa. No time wasted there. Zebasai finds the kill on Kariv as well. They got split up. Custa wasn't able to keep his co-healer alive there in that push. So Florida Mayhem with a very clean offense so far. Space demeched as well, and they're just dropping like flies right now. The Valiant, Yeah, Custa just trying to float off the edge. He doesn't want to have anything to do with this.
Yeah, so a little surprise from Florida, not running the Widow. They do go into full dive. They run this against Shanghai as well. They ran this on the defense against Shanghai, but it's hard to tell if they're just trying stuff out because it's Shanghai, in all honesty, or it's something they want to run. And I think it caught the Valiant completely by surprise. The speed with which everything arrived in that pack room. Everything arrived in that pack room. You just don't plan for that.
Yeah, that was awesome. With the boop as well, definitely something that he would have had in mind. That was clean for Florida. Strong start. And well, they had even more than 7 minutes. Let's see, are they going to be able to pick up the second point here? This is going to be key to extend this map. His Fate goes ahead, takes a little bit of a peek forward here. He's taking a lot of damage, though. Has to be careful. Dropping dangerously low, but Custa will be able to top him back up again.
Just fed a lot of charge into that blade. They're going to coalescence onto this. That's not enough damage per second to kill him when he's being healed up like that, but it does buy a little bit of space. Like, Pulse Bomb is in. Not going to get any kills, though, and with both tanks down and very unlikely to be resurrected, Florida's got to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, that did force that Pulse, forced the Primal, though, just so that Fate would stay alive. It's like Zupe and Tvik, everybody going ahead and taking an ice bath. It's good. It's good for the pores, opens up the skin, you know, lets you get a little healthy.
Yeah, a little bath bomb right there. Well, they were going to have a soft reset anyway because Zebo had to switch off of healer, or from healers to, from Lucio rather, to Mercy. But the reset also helps the Valiant defense because Soon's going to have his EMP now for the next fight, and he had just switched to that hero. Now, this has been an interesting character for both Soon and his former teammate AKM. They've struggled a little bit on finding value from the Sombra. Getting the ultimate up fast enough is not the problem this time around, but it's just a matter of when is he going to use it, where is he going to use it, see if he gets caught out. Big EMP.
Monster EMP, pretty much got everybody there apart from Saya player. Total cleanup here. Florida Mayhem not really going to be able to do too much in this situation, and well, you can hear Manitin chucking himself off the side of a cliff. The others are dead too, so yeah, we will actually have the push continuing here for Florida momentarily.
I believe that Diva screaming is your ringtone now. Am I right?
It's actually my alarm clock in the morning.
Yeah, just wake up refreshed. I need to start
another
the day.
day. Just another day. Let's go.
Defensively, they're in a really nice spot now. They only had to use EMP for that last fight, even though Primal Rage haven't used the fight before. They are banked up on absolutely everything else. Meanwhile, Florida's in a similar position. I think they're going to poke a little bit because they'd like to initiate here with maybe a Valkyrie. Valkyrie and Dragon Blade can actually work well together because of the range of that multi-prong healing.
Woo! That's not Tvik. Run over immediately.
Would you not gonna have a Dragon Blade is what you're not gonna have.
Oh, that's frustrating for Tvik. You can see it there too. We had the player cam. He wasn't looking too pleased about that.
Oh, that is brutal for them. That's a closeout ultimate that you expect to at least get a tick on the point with. They're in a decent spot as far as just time-wise goes. They got 4.5 minutes, 3 more minutes to just tie up the time bank for the other side. And because of that, they are going to make some changes here. Tvik off of the Genji. Yeah, that's a, you know, it makes sense, but also you got to think it's just a rage switch at some point. And then Sai is going to go to the McCree. Tracer McCree, a very common composition here. The McCree does not really care about getting EMP'd that much. He can still hit headshots.
Yeah, that's going to be the thing for the mechanically sound players. Well, the stick attempt there from Bunny. Unfortunately for him, it doesn't really go for it, but it is going to...
wings.
Yeah, it forced a bunch out of it. Zebasai floating high right now, healing his teammates up. A couple of quick kills coming in for the Florida Mayhem, because they're going to need to do more than that. And losing Zupe, well, never mind. Zebasai brings him back to life, but that cost Manitin his life. Without his healer there to keep him up, Manitin gets overwhelmed.
They did get some ultimates out of the other side, though, and they forced Soon off of the Sombra. He is now going to be on Soldier 76 instead, though they used their Valkyrie in that last fight. So they were not going to have any DPS ultimates. They knew that. They both just switched off it, so they wanted to do a little bit of an econ rush there, but they saw an opportunity to use Valkyrie, maybe get some progress on the point. You can piecemeal this together with 3 pushes, taking a tick each time. Maybe that's their plan. Now they have a bit of an advantage over the Valiant when it comes to ultimates.
Keeping it clean. Whoa, dangerous there, Tvik. Playing a game. Fate has got Primal up once again. See when he decides to pull the trigger on that one. Decides to start punching people in the face. Awesome guy didn't really wait around. He went ahead and threw his ult in immediately. So far, they're doing a pretty good job here, making sure that Florida don't make any progress on this point. Florida trying for the poke and prod right now. Trying to find some kind of weakness here to exploit, but they keep getting rebuffed.
Yeah, they just haven't had a clean engagement so far. When Tvik is on the Tracer, he tries to get to the backline on this bridge. That's where both supports and Soon are hanging out right now. Bunny's got eyes that Saya player is sneaking around here. He's crouching so his spurs don't jingle jangle.
He got spotted there, though. If the comms are good, Soon would have called that to his mate. And the gig would have been up here for Saya player, who has got the Deadeye.
Fanning the hammer to get rid of the shield so we can try to set this up. Oh, please do a platform, Deadeye.
Yeah. Float your way to victory. Let's go. Oh, wow, never mind. Just deleted. Gone. Fate finds him, but that caught face to his life. Still, Fate with the quicker respawn can just run back in here, whereas side player, he's got to do it the long way around soon, deciding to throw down with attack visor as well, really trying to confirm the end of this push here for Florida Mayhem, who have 2 minutes left on the clock to get the job done. They have yet to pick up a tick on point B.
They have to back out again. Awesome Guy got abandoned by his support who went down to resurrect the McCree, but Awesome Guy had just jumped in, ended up in a 1v3 situation with no healing. It doesn't matter what your pool is as Winston, you are going to die to that every single time. And now, Ultimate Economy is relatively even here. Both have a Transcend up, a couple DPS ults, but the tank ultimate's online for the Los Angeles Valiant. See, Florida's engagements have looked sloppy, and already they're gonna have a worse time if they even complete this map.
That's the big question mark right now. Minute 25 on the clock for Florida Mayhem. There's going to be both divas running into each other. Manatin has to be careful, though. He nearly gets cut off from the rest of his team. Still might have gotten D-Max, and yes, I think he did. So it is going to be the self-destruct, and Ken Bunny, he's not going to be able to deny it, but he does drop the pulse on it. Manatin on the edge of getting D-Max, tries to go for the hero play, tries to get that pack, but it's not going to be there for him. Bunny one step ahead.
He killed him by taking away his health. That's exactly what happened there. He got the pulse bomb on him, and then he went for the pack. Transcendence came just a little bit too late. Now is the time you have to wonder, are we going or are we backing up? And the choice is made for them as that Valiant come in and will send them right back to spawn. Last push for the Florida Mayhem. They did get one tick though, so not as much to do. They also got a tactical visor used out of soon, but they've been really unable to pressure that backline on the bridge, and that's where everyone's going to reset up to now. You see both supports going up there. That's where Soon is going to live. Saya player goes over to the Soldier 76 to try to do some damage on them, just to get them out of the fight for a little bit so they can posture up on point at least.
One thing to note here is that Valiant are really allowing Florida Mayhem to push in. We've seen this from other teams where they'll go in for the dive as soon as they don't even let their opponents get through the front arch. They just take the fight to them. Los Angeles Valiant right now seems like they're confident in their ability to hold on this point. We've got Zephyr flying high. There it is. Tick kills himself, but he takes Karib with him, so that could be solid. Costa, however, with the wings, going to be going back to hunt. Not going to be able to make it in time, and we will have it running out as Los Angeles Valiant will hold in the end.
That was a map that Florida really needed. It just gets rougher for them in this pool here on out. And it's so nice, you mentioned them playing back, but that's playing to the strength of your Soldier 76. He's not really gonna chase people down. He's more comfortable in a static position, drops his own healing with his healers, damage boosted in the back, and by the time they get to the point, they're already at halftime.
Yeah, they're already hanging on by a thread. Florida Mayhem, we'll see if they'll be able to make it happen here on the second map of this series, or if the Valiant will extend their lead by another map. We'll find out after the break.
Diva have to go back. Diva one. Hey, right up, jungle is coming. Baby point. Monkey score. I'm on the jump, Mercy. Hey, monkey then. Point. Behind. I can go. One. One. Nice.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
very early to swoosh. That's a huge kill to start this off.
Cussa keeps everybody alive.
But Buddy strikes back now.
Zupe brought his orbs today.
Oh, that's not gonna work. Soon finds a headshot.
Push.
It's all over in an absolute flash.
Boys, GG's.
Welcome to the Overwatch League.
Hey everybody, welcome back from the break. I spilled tea everywhere, so I am just making sure that I didn't damage anything. Cool. The screen still work. Great, Hex. We're still online. How's it going, man?
It's going good. We're going to Numbani next, and this is a really interesting map. I used to always call this one the lab, right? Because everyone's trying new and different stuff. Mani talked a little bit earlier about defenses trying to find their footing. We saw a Sombra and a Widow defense, which we hadn't seen before. But I want to actually take a look at some of the offenses that we're seeing on Numbani here. Now, this is going to be Florida on their attack. They're setting up a dive, but notice they don't have any mobile support heroes. So what they're going to do is stay close to this wall, and then here comes the Manitin scoop off the edge. Down goes Unko, down goes Harry Hook. Harry Hook will jump back to the top. Now they bide their time a little bit. Everyone gets healed up, but Unko can't get back up there. So the dive is on Unko. Harry Hook has to follow, so it is getting them off their high ground because you don't have any high ground dive with that, and you go to the low ground, and then you have all that sustained healing with a Lucio and a Moira on the ground. So the D.Va scoop. You just scoop them off the bridge, and there's only a few heroes that can get back up there. The people who can't are dead on the ground, especially when a Mercy leaves your Zenyatta on the ground. He's just, dead on it.
I'm kind of sad that we have a high horse strategy already, because I would say like that would be the get off your high horse strat.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Madison just rolls up. Get off your high horse. Then Unko's dead.
Yeah, I mean, knocked down from the ivory tower, something along those lines. I mean, Numbani is kind of, an ivory-looking place here. But yeah, I thought Volskaya was going to be one of the better maps for Mayhem. They looked a little bit out of sorts. What's most concerning to me is how often Awesome Guy died, and it wasn't his fault. They would go in, and then Zebazai just left him. It was like, oh, I got other stuff to do. It happened several times. I thought it was a strategy they were employing on the defense, but I saw it happen once too often on the offense. Of course, Awesome Guy, newer to this roster, so trying to work out some communication. And Zupe and Zebo, I mean, they get a lot of flack for this team, and maybe that was true in Stage 1 and Stage 2, but the numbers don't suss it out in Stage 3. They're actually kind of middle-of-the-pack support players in Stage 3, so just communication issues still have to come out. Agilities is going to sub in for Soon. That's because he's got a Genji as well as a Soldier 76. He will run a Soldier 76 on defense and offensive last point, but of course you bring him in for his Genji specialty.
Yeah, shurikens to the face. Doesn't look like Tvik will be there, however, to go toe-to-toe in the Maul Ninja play. It is going to be him on the Tracer instead, with Cyan player rocking the Soldier, another common strategy that we see here on the defense.
Yeah, and this is what Monty and I were talking about earlier. They're like, I think the best is probably to have a Widow, but you just get Dovan. So maybe you run a Soldier, but then you just get Dovan. And what's, I believe it was Houston did before, was like, well, we're going to get Dovan. How do we stop that? And they just hacked one of the tanks before they could dive. So it was a really interesting strategy to help out. I think defense is still very difficult here on Numbani first. For a moment they were on Pharah, which a lot of teams have employed, but it is looking like it's going to be pure dive from the Los Angeles Valiant offense.
Well, now they've got an idea here of what they're running into as well. Cyan player kind of showing his hand with the early peek on the Soldier. So now it's a question of whether Valiant, Valiant gonna go right on up. Hey, there's a little boop. The scoop, sorry Hex, the scoop.
Well, there's already a boop, so something has to be different. And sometimes they won't go to your left and not just straight back. So they've knocked everyone off. Good job by Florida to give up some ground though. Saya player very low, retreats to his healing and is back. Meanwhile, a tick has been taken.
Tick has been taken. We lose Agilities in the mix. Space decided, hey, to go deep, all the way into the back line. Zebasai hanging on by a thread. He has the health pack. Lucky dog, that saves him in the end. Space was so close to removing the Mercy from play.
It was actually a really great peel from Saya player. Not only did he get back to put some pressure on, but he got back and blocked a lot of those shots. And he will come back in with the tactical visor. Gonna try to get this Tracer out of the mix as well. And meanwhile, they're cleaning up the remainder of the point. It is only Space. As long as they keep some presence on here, this defense should hold. Awesome Guy pops a Primal for good measure. Or bad measure, depending on how you feel, but it seemed like a panic mode right there, and they will hold on defense. Holding once on Numbani defense is already pretty solid.
Yeah, that's pretty good that they managed to actually, yeah, you're right for pointing out the Saya player body block there to save Agilities. Just farming up his Dragon Blade, so now they're really going to have some tools here to work with Los Angeles Valiant. Costa's got the sound barrier to initiate with. They've got 2 closing ults.
Yeah, I mean, it's the exact same offense we just saw in the overhead from Florida. They're going to try to run up on the edge, move them off, and then get in on it. They're going to sound barrier as well. Saya down really hurts.
Yeah, that's a lot of your damage throughput gone out of it. Manitin hanging on.
Res this.
But yeah, they're going to camp it. Not really going to let him poke too far forward. Zebasai thinking about it, but he's not going to make it in time. Manitou, no! This could be a big one! They're going to make it out in the nick of time, right around the corner, but that could have been a monster self-destruct.
The fade, and then Zebo gets in here with his Transcendent. No one dies to the counter self-destruct. They're still touching the point. Have to make sure they don't get bullied off it, but it's Awesome Guy going in. He will die immediately. Both tanks now dead, and that is it for point A defense. The Valiant will crack it.
It had all the makings there. Had all the makings of a great self-destruct. Shame there wasn't more chaos on that point to distract him.
Yeah, fade, you know. Fade is like always up. It's got one of the shorter cooldowns in the game. It's really hard to actually kill a Moira with those big burst damage abilities. Even Pulse Bombs just fade out of.
Yeah.
Trust me, yeah, I know.
You know all about it, Hector. You know all about it. It's a wonder I can still talk to you after looking to you in DM.
No switches so far in the defense. Bunny lurking, no one saw him. He's actually, it seems a little surprised that no one even saw him. So now they're gonna find which target they want to go on, and Bunny will join the party once that's called.
Hey, Zupe. There we go. Wow. Okay, decides to back off immediately. That did not work out for Bunny.
Yeah, that's why you don't try to solo that. You wait for your tanks to engage, and that would have been an easy kill. Meanwhile, Tvik takes down 2. Had Fate and Bunny been there together, it could have been an entirely different story. Now the Valiant offense is pushed back.
Perhaps some miscommunication there. Can happen. Valiant right now. Now they're in a bit of a tight spot. Pushed back to spawn. It's not looking like Florida Mayhem are going to hang around and try and lock him in there, though. Although Tvik does seem to be on a bit of a mission. He is backing off as well.
Do you remember when Bunny first started playing for this team? And I said, I love Bunny because he plays dumb. Sure. That's one of the times where it doesn't bear fruit, right? Where you make decisions that you probably shouldn't make. And like, those hero plays, had he killed him and killed someone else, we'd be talking about what an amazing decision he made. Sure. No, it was always going to be a bad decision, just the results actually bared out that time.
Ah, well, Agilities forces the Trance out. Not going to find any kills with this Blade, unfortunately, but that does get that Zen ultimate out of play, and that's going to set it up here for Fate to find 2 kills in the back line. Bunny is there to tag along as well. Awesome Guy does manage to trade back here from Florida, but it's a bit too little too late, as Manitou will certainly get demeched, and that payload going to make some progress.
Just getting that one through the Blade, opened things up greatly for that team, and that is enough of the Genji from Agilities. Well, he switched to Soldier for a second, perhaps a different call. When he goes to third, if they're down on that corridor on third, he will go to a Soldier 76 just for the long distance damage. Actually depends on kind of what he's feeling at the moment as well, but I think they are anticipating another fight here, and they should, and that's why he's staying on Genji.
Yeah, he's going to keep in here. He wants, oh, nice stick. He's going to be on Zupe. No Trance there to cancel it out, unfortunately for him, so he is out of this fight for now at least, and that puts Zebasai in a bit of a tight spot. Never mind, he's dead. He doesn't have to worry about anything anymore. Inside player pinned against the wall. Fate, he'll take that any day of the week. Second point picked up now for the Los Angeles Valiant. 3 minutes 22 on the clock here for them to close out this map.
Splatters him against the wall, and we'll see if there's any changes that come through. Agility's at 50% is in that weird place where you don't really want to switch. If he dies before Dragon Blade, I would anticipate a switch from him. But it's also very good against Saya player 76 to get the Genji in there and perhaps make him end up shooting himself.
There's it now, Agilities. Thinking about it. He's doing a good job here, farming it up, and there we go. Follows up on the dive. Zebo somehow survives it, though. Gets topped up immediately thanks to Saya player's biofield, and well, in the meantime, this payload not making progress because guess what? Tvik is back here being a nuisance.
Oh, stuck, and Agilities will jump off and away from his sports. Meanwhile, on the backline, Bunny takes down 2 with a Pulse Bomb. They will continue to push this, even with 4 up. If they get aggressed upon, I would imagine they'd back up and wait for people, but the reinforcements should be here soon enough. Custa going back to taxi them to the cart.
Yeah, all the little details here. Manitou finally going to start contesting it, but they're fine with that Los Angeles Valiant because now they're going to be back together as a killer unit. Once again, Bunny is going toe-to-toe with Zupe, nearly dies, and Saya player going to go ahead and peel, but we will have Agilities with the Blade. Trance is going to get in there. Awesome Guy launches himself forward, and Zupe, man, everything getting thrown in here for Florida Mayhem.
Yeah, the support ultimates are stacked on top of each other, though, which is not great for either of them. Zebo and Zupe hit it at the same time, and now no support ults up. You're going to see a Lighthouse here from Kareem. The moment he gets it, it's out.
Yeah, not wasting any time at all. He's going to be keeping everybody alive while doing the damage. Manitou with the self-destruct out in the open. Not going to be an issue. And Custa this entire time has kept his eye on the prize. He stayed on that payload. They are constantly making progress here, and they are going to... No! Tvik, last second contest, but he's dead now, and Zebasai is soon to follow. It is going to be Los Angeles Valiant picking up all 3 points here on Dumbani to start off. But Tvik with the save there at the end.
Yeah, let's see what Bunny was working on in the back line here, because that Pulse Bomb was huge, allowed them to get a lot of work done on the card. See him lurking. He's been so good on Numbani. It might be his best map, and that's just easy pickings.
Yeah, that's really where you're happy to be. Yeah, man, when they're all together like that. It's flashbacks to Hanamura.
I mean, it's just a comically large target, you know, like an oversized basketball rim. Even I can make shots, right? I mean, when you have that many people stuck together, you're going to hit something. And then they're going to back up in a way. You know what's odd? I've seen so many people lately get stuck and then use an ability and end up killing someone else. I mean, we saw Junkrat get stuck yesterday on Anubis, flies back, ends up killing his support. We've seen it with Winston's in the past. If you get stuck, call it and stop moving. Call it and stop, let your team react to it. Agilities was the difference there. He got stuck, and he knew that he was only with Lucio, so he jumps up the air. Lucio's not gonna be able to follow you. Had he stuck around, it's possible that Custom misses that call, is not able to react quickly enough, and then they both die. So, I mean, there are some instances, but you have to know going into it, if I get stuck here while this one Tracer's on the cart, what am I gonna do? And Agility's reacted properly.
Yeah, we've been seeing that from the Winstons as well. Both of those guys actually have a good vertical escape.
Yeah.
You know, just straight up in the air.
Yeah, well, and it's also good to use your vertical escape, and you just have to have the mindset going in. I can use my vertical escapes because we don't have a Mercy right now. The problem is using your vertical escape when a Mercy is on your team, because then oftentimes you're bringing the bomb to her.
What I want to see someday is exactly that. It's going to be Mercy Pharah, and then somebody leaps up with a bomb straight into them and get a triple.
I would love if you could stick teammates in this game.
That would definitely make you second guess sometimes.
So like you stick a Genji, he jumps in there and gets a Zarya bubble at the end, and then boom, you know?
Oh, Hex, yes!
Yeah.
All right, can we make that happen, devs, please? Let's go, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, they're nerfing Pulse Bomb, so let's get something a little bit better. But the problem is that, you know...
Higher skill ceiling.
No, the problem is that people would just do it just to people anyway. You can't have griefing aspects like that in the game.
Why not? It'd be great. All of a sudden, that guy in the back line, that Zen, who's been talking trash all game long, I'm fed up with you!
All right, this dive is going to be a little more patient than what we expect. You expect him to kind of push off, but Valiant is anticipating this as well and has backed off. That Winston is absolutely dead.
Super sick, yes, in fact. He's gone. But that was a great collapse there. Maniton figuring it out real quick. And they are going to be making some progress here on this point. Florida Mayhem so far on first points. They've been very solid. Matter of them getting the job done. 2 ticks picked up. Are they going to be able to contest this? It's not looking like they want to.
They're waiting. Bunny's going to dash in, actually, and just gives us it for a second. They're going to wait for all their tanks. Bunny's in, Bunny's out, and now they've got a good sight line for their Soldier 76 on the bottom.
Side player doesn't want to have anything to do with that. Fate has to be careful that he doesn't overextend. Again, Kareev finds the kill on Awesome Guy. Discord Orb, it's a wonderful thing.
Now they're going to have to back up to Vic. Was thinking about this giant flank. They're still re-engaging, though. Saya cannot live through, even though he's got a tactical visor up.
Oh, nice play there from Tvik, though. Finds the kill, does it. Kareev is out, but the rest of his team right now, they're kind of struggling a little bit to keep it together. Zebasai decides to get the wings out here, but now we've got Attack Visor hoping to pick him off. Nope, Agility's gonna be the first target. He's dead, and Tvik finding all the kills right now. 2 big ones there.
Super patient on that as well. Waited for the wings to wear off. It was 2 tanks and a Mercy. They were getting so much healing. Tvik waits it for a second. The only small nitpick I have there is that Florida did use both support ultimates over top each other again. That happened last time on their defense. It's something you want to keep an eye on, but it's also something that if you feel you need it both to win a fight, by all means, go ahead and do so. But now their economy is in shambles.
Kareev has still got transfer Valiant, so there is a bit of an edge here. Florida trying to take the fight as early as possible here, but Bunny will keep an eye on the payload, and they will not be making much more progress. Unfortunately, the plan backfires for Florida. It's not like it's Lucio, you know, really hard target to hit. It's Zupe on his end.
I mean, Space got killed out of mech there, though, too. It was a really nice, actually, Helix rocket from Saya player to make sure that that death was permanent as he was trying to remech. They will get all this progress. Zupe has got eyes in the back of his head, as he should, because he knows Bunny is still back there. Let's take a look at this replay here, as they did go so far forward. Did you hear that thud? The sound design is next level.
Yeah, that was in the detail, man. Oh, Blizzard, let's go. They've got all those details ironed out. Now, however, it is going to be Saya player. He's right on the edge of Attack Visor, finds that pack. He is getting run down, though. They will not let up. Los Angeles Valiant staying on the target.
Well, I talked about Bunny's playstyle before, and I really enjoy it. I view it as nothing but a compliment. He's the most unpredictable tracer in Overwatch League. You never know where he's going to go. He will go for plays that he shouldn't and make them work. He will go for plays that he shouldn't, and he will get crushed on it. But you have to love that gambler's mentality, the aggression from the Valiant, who've, you know, somewhat been a bit of a predictable team before they actually picked up Bunny, and he gives them this weird kind of wild card element, you know?
You got to be willing. If you're going to be the big playmaker, you got to be willing to take the risks to make it happen. You have to have that confidence in yourself. Bunny eventually gets spotted out. Clearing out the high ground here. Los Angeles Valiant. Let's see if they can hold, though, as Bunny has to back up. Agilities finds the kill on Saya player. That's no tac visor for this fight. Agilities has just beheaded him left and right. Throws the blade in there, gets the job done. Manatin's certainly not going to be long for this world.
They're cleaned up there. It's a really nice play to get all the value, and because they only had to use the blade to win this fight, they're going to have most of their other ultimates online. Meanwhile, Florida's been banking ultimates of their own. We're going to have an ultimate showdown, if you will, coming up next. You'd have to imagine that they would like to save the tactical visor until they get themselves in a decent position, maybe a high ground. You would ideally like to save it for second point. You have to think Blade is going to come in here first if they can find the right targets for it. But there's going to be Transcend there. At some point, you just have to trade it. You have to know they haven't used Transcend in a while, and you have to be okay with your Blade getting transcended.
Well, yeah, exactly. You're forcing the trans, and then that is actually going to put things in a bit of a tight spot. We got the pulse stick. No kill. Manatin's still hanging in here. He's getting topped up again, pocketed by Zebasai. Bunny not able to get the job done. Discord up on Awesome Guy as well, but he's again getting heals from his own healers.
Bunny forced Primal, and he forced the wings out as well. So Valkyrie is going to be fading. Custa did use his as well to make sure they are going to resurrect and try to re-engage with this, but they're in a terrible spot to re-engage.
Zebasai, he's dropping dangerously low. He's got the Harmony Orb, and he's going to be able to hang in there as Fate decides to back off. Not willing to overcommit into this. Chavik with the blade. It's a blade on blade. Bit of action there, and Agilities is on the losing end of that fight.
Agilities having another blade up that quickly is ridiculous. Zube using his Transcend in the prior fight is really hurtful to them. They just forced out Transcend. They would have had a better engagement now for Florida, but now they won't. Vic will get the dash through. This one is going bloody and it's going long.
Yeah, it has been out and out battle forever now, it feels like. Neither team willing to give an inch. It is going to be Los Angeles Valiant. Down a man, waiting for the respawn to come through, waiting for him to get back into the action here. And now that they are a full unit with Fate joining up, looking like they will be able to get the contest going yet again.
Well, this is what they're waiting for the tactical visor. This is the position you want to be in, and that's why you pop it right now, and it's going on during Custa's Valkyrie, so Custa has to be very careful.
Will you lose Fate? Are we going to have it? Yes, Custa's got the Valk, so Custa will be able to get in here. Now it's a question of whether or not he'll be able to get the res off. That would be a big deal if he could on Fate, but Fate is out in the open, and unfortunately it's just not going to happen. Contest, 0.26 meters. Are they going to be able to actually pick this up? 30 seconds on the clock.
Even if they don't, it doesn't matter. They just forced out a res, they forced out another trank, they forced out self-destruct by having 3 men on the cart, and this fight's not over.
This is still going. Agilities yet again. The man doing the damage, bringing the hurt. 3 kills for him, ends it for Florida Mayhem. And well, now it's looking a little grim here.
That's a fight that they, by all rights, probably should have won. They will be able to touch very likely as Awesome Guys here. They will have one more shot at this. Primal Rage, now gone. Could have waited another second, but it does not matter. The Valiant will hold right there.
And Los Angeles Valiant will pick up 2 maps in this series, extending their lead in the end. Florida Mayhem, once again, struggling to find the answer here.
Saya, we saw a lot of his POV on the Soldier 76 there, and it's a lot like Last of Anubis, that feels like a checkpoint position, but you're in a much better position if you drop down and you're closer and you're hitting more shots, you're doing more damage, and you get them off of the carts. As it stands, 2-0 Los Angeles Valiant as we head into the half.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
We got the Valiant making a lot of fans in the building happy so far. They're up 2-0 over the Florida Mayhem as we enter halftime. Welcome back to the Blizzard Arena, ladies and gentlemen. So far, the Valiant taking care of business. The DPS in the backline causing problems all day long for the Florida Mayhem. And I feel like you gotta be nervous if you're a Mayhem fan coming into the second half. Agilities and Bunny, how do you deal with this duo?
It's difficult to deal with them both, I think. Agility's, it's been the Dragon Blades that have been really powerful for him, but Bunny's just this constant threat that's always there in the backline. And they've tried to make a couple of adjustments, but it hasn't worked out so far. He was really running rampant on Volskaya. The guy went crazy to open it up. And then Florida, although they did have a good attack with Twick over on the Junkrat, it was difficult for them to hold out the entire way because LA Valiant had nearly 6 minutes on the clock.
Hold this. Thanks, Devo.
A huge part of the way the Valiant was successful in this map, again, like we've been talking about, is Bunny with his pulse bombs, because I feel like as well as that, Florida's attacks were constantly being delayed by Bunny, constantly blinking into the back line, getting his pulse bomb down onto a few of the players, and taking out one of them before the fight even began. Yeah. But they were really, really quite on the money when it came to Soon on both the Sombra and the Soldier 76. He was having a lot of success with this, and Florida were really struggling to get a decent attack onto that point B. When it came to Dumbani, things changed up a little bit. So again, Florida came straight out the gate with another fantastic attack, trying to basically battle against Valiant when they were setting an incredible time, to be honest. And all in all, it was the Agility show. Like you talked about it, Chris, when we were coming into it with Agilities and Bunny being this dynamic duo of DPS, and they really shined in Dumbani in particular.
Tvik had some nice Genji plays of his own, and I hope to see this hero more. Josh, does it make sense for Florida to pull out the Genji with the remaining maps? We got 2 more to come in the second half. Yeah,
we've got Ilios and Junkertown. They're not great Genji maps, honestly, so I don't think they'll go towards it. Maybe they'll have Tvik run the Tracer on Ilios alongside Sireplayer on the Widow, or possibly see him on Junkrat when it comes. He does have a really good.
They might even just sub in Logics. Like they might just even sub in Logics and just run Tracer Widow.
Yeah, that's true.
But that seems better to me, at least.
They've got to have a lot of firepower. That's the thing. When they look towards the second 2 maps, they need the firepower, because if they don't have some crazy aggression and just wipe out the LA Valiant, the longer these fights happen, the more it's going to end up with Bunny in your backline taking out the support.
Speaking of Bunny, let's take a look at some of his highlights. Bren, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I mean, again, what have we not already said about this guy? He had a ridiculous performance on Volskaya. multiple clutch performances on Nimbani as well, but he was a real nuisance in the backlines of Florida Mayhem. He was constantly there cleaning up a lot of the damage that was being set up by Valiant, by both Fate and Soon and the rest of the squad as well. And his pulse bombs
very on point.
all the day
So many
long,
pulse
realistically.
bombs. Yeah.
His pulse bombs was constantly delaying them here.
Here you can see a bit of an adaptation. Goes into the backline trying to pick off Zuppe. They get the heals back onto him and Vic comes back to peel. So I could see them making a couple of adjustments, but really, I think this is a great game plan coming out from Valiant, or kind of a stylistic matchup, because Bunny just always does this. I don't think this was pre-planned particularly, but he just always goes for the backline. And Florida Mayhem, their backline is one of the weakest in the league. Zebasai and Zuppe struggle to peel people away properly. I think Zebo's Mercy still needs a bit of work, and they don't really have that backline presence that thinks defensively. If they have Sire player there on the McCree or the Soldier, he's just trying to get offensive kills. He's not worried about his supports.
Let's keep it rolling here as we take a look at some more supports dying from Agility's perspective. The other DPS from the Valiant getting the job done as well. And you got to give props to Manitin for eating a few of the pulse bombs coming in from Bunny. But what is the answer to these Genji blades?
When you have two very strong DPS players in the server, it's like you've got to, if you're not even struggling, if you're struggling to shut down just one of them, right? And then Agilities comes in and he's like, all right, lads, you know, I'll show you a Dragon Blade or two. And just absolutely rinses the floor with them. Like, even when he wasn't getting good kills with his Dragon Blades, he was still getting incredible value out of it, because Florida, again, were mismanaging a lot of their support ultimates. They were using them at the same time a lot of the times. So Agilities was still having a fantastic game on the Genji. And then when you've got to deal with both him and Bunny, it's just like a roller coaster of emotions.
We got 2 more games to go. Valiant needs just 1 in the second half. But for the Florida fans, Josh, you did find one moment that everyone should be able to get excited about. What is Florida doing well in this series?
Yeah, there were a couple of decent moments for Florida Mayhem, but this one as they attacked Numbani I thought was particularly interesting. So they had this setup with the Genji and the Soldier 76. So you can see here that Florida Mayhem have set up their Zen and their Soldier on the high ground. And this is because once they're there, they get great sight lines to spam down into that top area. And on the other side, they've got their front line all over here. Zebasai's giving them healing, but he can go back to the back line at any point. And Vic on the Genji. So they've got kind of a bit of a dive presence and that backline threat. And you can see that Fate and Bunny here are trying to set up to take out Sire Player and Zuppe. So as soon as they get in, it's a back out from Sire Player and from Zuppe. They leave that dangerous area up top, and instead all of these divers go back and they're just focused on killing Fate and Bunny. This is the kind of peel style that I think will work better for Florida Mayhem moving forwards in the match. If they can try and clean up the players at the back, look how quickly they swarm all over Fate, and then Vic takes this 1v1 on the side to push Bunny away. So you have 2 choices if you're the Florida Mayhem for me as you approach the next 2 maps. You either try and play as aggressive as possible like we saw on Volskaya, and you try and just kill LA Valiant faster than they can kill you. Ignore Zebasai and Zuppe, they're gonna die anyway, leave them. Or you can try and really protect them, kill Bunny as soon as he makes those plays, kill Fate, and try and play a very peel-oriented style. Don't know which one's gonna work better on Ilios, who knows, but that, I think, are the 2 options.
One thing I will say, though, is that is a good sign of life, to be honest, from Florida. The fact that they can orchestrate a lot of these pushes. Like, this is a different style.
They're looking a lot better.
Exactly. Like, if you compare this style of Florida to the one that we just saw a couple of weeks ago, again, they've made radical improvements in quite a quick amount of time. So it is still very promising if you are a Florida Mayhem fan.
All right, so far it's all Valiant. They're up 2-0 at the half. Florida trying to force another Game 5. Will we see another one? We'll find out. Ilios is coming up big Game 3 on the other side of this break.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Sour Patch Kids. Sour, sweet, gone.
Welcome back, everybody. Our last match of the night has the LA Valiant up on the Florida Mayhem 2-0 at the half. It's been a lot of good Genji play, pro Genji play going on in this matchup. And Bunny, he's been balling out of control on Tracer. Now, the funny thing is the LA Valiant actually have 2 Tracer players, and the other Tracer player goes by the name of Soon. Soon! I was waiting for it. Now, for those of you Twitch All Access Pass holders, guess what? Soon is doing the AMA tonight. So if you have any questions you want to ask him how it feels to play next to cool DPS players like Bunny and Agilities, you can ask him what's his favorite thing on the in and out menu. All of those things. Tonight is your night to do just that. Can I get one more Soon chant, please? I just love that. I love it. It's like music to my ears. Anyways, guys, we got one more half to go. LA Valiant, it's match point them. Can the Florida Mayhem bring this thing back? Let's find out right now. Get back into the action with our casters, Simler and Hex.
You always have such great theme music going, in the background. Like, I'm just bumping along. You just feel so cheerful.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been several weeks of this music. It's just in my head. I'm going to play to my funeral.
I know. I'm sitting down, walking down the hall. Yeah, exactly. So, guys, it is going to be a 2-0 lead for the Los Angeles Valiant. They do, in fact, have a guy named Soon. And if you have the chance to hang around, actually, definitely check it out. Been really enjoying these player AMAs.
Oh, yeah.
You get all this background information that you just wouldn't get otherwise. So, I mean, worth it. Get the pass, hang around, hear what Soon has to say.
AKM poked a little fun of himself the other night, too. They read all this stuff as well. So be kind out there. There's human beings on the other end of your comments.
Absolutely not. Be ruthless. Be ruthless. We have no feelings.
All right, we're going to Ilios. It is match point for the Mayhem. They have to win to stay alive. Luckily, we're going to start off on Ruins. I think it's their best stage here. They are going to be running a Widow Tracer. Tvik on the Tracer, of course, Saya player on the Widow. And who knows what the Valiant's going to run. This is a map that you can see all sorts of stuff. Teams have been experimenting with triple tank and then maybe a Widow as well. Or you just get triple tank, you sit on the point, and you say, well, come at us if you want. And there's going to be no sight lines for you either. So I think this stage is the best for them. When we go into the other stages, probably going to run into a lot of far off from the Los Angeles Valiant. It's one of the reasons that Agilities is still in the lineup right now, as we will roll out onto Ruins. And a little bit interesting of the supports here, we have a Moira Lucio, and the other supports are a Mercy Zenyatta, so definitely different playstyles.
Guy that we're looking forward to here, though, is the man in question, the man that we follow presently. It is Saya player. First shot hits, no kill, though, unfortunately for him. But now they know. They know what they're going up against here, the Valiant.
Yeah, and the Valiant are not running the triple tank, but they are just playing the point. They were playing the point until Tvik takes down Kariv. That is a huge opening kill to take down a Moira. So much burst healing now out of this fight.
Wow, Fate just decides to throw himself in there bodily. And while Tvik right now, he's just doing work on the point.
Took down both supports right there. That's all you can ask for your Tracer. Kills both supports. Everything else is everyone else's problem. Agility is the only one left. He's going to try to get out with his life at the very least. Bunny's going to come in here. Bunny's going to go away. Tvik on fire on the Tracer.
I think Bunny was trying to contest at the last second there, but he just didn't make it quite in time.
It was just the DPS up. Without any healing, those are very small health pools. They were going to die almost immediately.
Yeah, but split second, Hex. Split second. 0.26 meters.
3 meters, man.
3 meters. So, I mean, it is going to be another push coming in here for the Valiant. And they are just going to go straight in for the fight. Florida Mayhem getting pummeled right now. We will have the D-Mech on space. Unfortunately for him, that's not going to be a pleasant experience.
I mean, they're going to pop Primal on this point as well. Inside the Coalescence, Kariv is trying to melt these people down. He's got Manitin out of mech. So good against tanks. Do that extra bit of damage. And meanwhile, Awesome Guy has to leave as well. Zabo down. Saya down. Zupe down. Agilities grabs himself a turkey.
All the kills and no sharing. He is going to be in one of those post-Thanksgiving comas shortly. We all know what that's like.
The miracle of tryptophan. You know how much turkey you'd have to eat for tryptophan to actually have effect? You're in a coma because you just had 5,000 calories.
Exactly.
Tryptophan does not do anything.
Maybe you should have held off on the extra helping of stuffing. No, Hex. No. The answer is no.
Stuffing is
the key.
Yeah, it's the bee's knees right there. Agility's did so much damage there. He's going to have this blade up for the next fight. In fact, they have a lot of ultimates up. Barrier into blade. It's how they chose to initiate before. See how they do it. There's going to be a blade, but Agilities doesn't get it. Instead, he's got backline on his mind.
Look at that. He just has to go for a little bit of a tickle, a little bit of a poke, and Zupe goes for the trance. Both of the support ults are out here for Florida Mayhem. And while they are continuing to catch up here, Los Angeles Valiant, as they contest on the point, Custa's back there. He's going to be top in space up again. And while the fight continues in the Florida Mayhem lines, unfortunately, it's not going the Valiant's way. They get overwhelmed.
Yeah, Sai got himself a couple of kills very early in that fight. Then they were just waiting to clean up the rest of it. They will take this point back. Now it's time for Bunny to stall. He's going to dance around just a little bit, get them a couple percentage. We were tied up at percent. But now with Florida with the lead, this is Saya. Takes on Bunny early, got headshots on Tracers. Difficult to do. Then he takes on Agilities here as well. Beautiful play from Saya.
Whoa, those were some spicy shots. Yeah, Saya player. He's always an exciting widow to watch, though. He is capable of getting those flicks. A true sniper at heart. Let's see it, though. Manitin gonna decide it's a bit too hot to handle over here. He's gonna back off and just abandon his tank, who will come back to join him. Tvik hanging out as well. They are looking to get this pushed as far as possible. Florida Mayhem just keep alive on the point, or better yet, kill the opposition. Valiant, all three dead. The rest of them are gonna have to back off.
Yeah, they gotta get out of here right now, and they never really got that blade off from Agilities. He's still holding it in his pocket. He's got it ready to go. Meanwhile, Florida had used a great deal of things there. Tvik is still very impressive right now on this Tracer. 11 eliminations, only 1 death thus far.
Yeah, he has been stepping up. I mean, he's got that deep miracle again. And that was not a headshot, so, but it was a boosted shot from Saya. Gets the job done. Another 3 kills here, and things are falling apart for the Valiant. 99% for Florida Mayhem. They've just got to win this fight, and they'll have that advantage of 1 point here on this map.
I think the early kill on a Bunny really put them out of sorts there too, because you do not want to be dying with ultimates up. Agilities did not pop the blade there at the end, as trying to play in a more defensive posture. Not going to be the case, and that was a stage that Florida desperately needed. Now the question is, are they going to run up against Agilities Pharah, and what is going to be the answer for it? You can play a Widow into a Pharah. On this stage, it's decent as well. 76 we saw from Saya earlier. But they don't necessarily have a natural Pharah player on this team. Tvik is a decent Pharah. He played it. He was an old Team Fortress 2 soldier. Those are, you know, sometimes seem as though they're related. I think they play very differently, but that projectile timing, hard to get down. So I don't think they're going to be playing any Pharah.
No, but we need to get like all the TF2 guys in here, and they're just going to be like total snobs.
No, I mean, like, that came out of rocket jumping. There was more mobility. It felt a lot different than Pharah does right now. I mean, look, hitting mid-airs is hitting mid-airs, but all the projectiles and all the different mid-air games have kind of different speeds, so it doesn't directly translate.
Listen, you can talk all you want about TF2. It's all about the Quake rocket. Let's go. You want to get into mechanics, you want to get into skill. All right, let's see. Agilities. He's looking for it right now. He's got that high ground, and they really, I mean, Saya player hasn't quite figured out how to get a hold of him here. Zupe, though, that was a click with the volley. Nearly finds the pick on Agilities. That was cutting it pretty close, but the follow-up now is going to be brutal. Agilities finds one. He's pinned him in the corner as well.
Yeah, I love watching a Pharah when there's no other Pharah on the other team, because they have these set rollouts, and they know exactly what angles they want to take against the other team to shut off where they want to be. And without another Pharah, they don't have to worry about any other thing except what angles they want to take towards the ground. 7% and counting up as Valiant has grabbed control at this point. Everyone from the Mayhem evicted here. Now the question is, can they have a good answer to Agilities in the sky? Most Pharahs are playing so much further back now. They know the angles, and I think you need the burst damage of a McCree rather than a Soldier 76 here.
It's a tough proposition for Saya as well. I mean, 70% on attack visor. Doesn't necessarily want to run back and reset. We'll see if he's forced to do so. He may get evicted here fairly soon as Agilities continues to pummel them with rockets from on high. Florida Mayhem just now taking a little bit of a poke at the point, but and the mobility here from Agilities, he's putting the pressure on.
He was, then he got a little too big for his britches there. Sai is able to punish him because he got out in the open. However, it is 2 kills on both sides, 4v4 right now. Next kill could seal this one.
Oh, and space gets denied by Manitin before he can get the remake going. Nicely done. 50% and counting for Los Angeles Valiant. Florida Mayhem just now starting to get the capture going, and we have the sound barrier thrown in here for Los Angeles Valiant. Karib and Kusta, sure, they've got more HP, and that might be enough to turn it around here. Can they find a kill? It's Awesome Guy hanging on, half HP, and those are the kills, but not the ones that the Valiant were looking for. Florida Mayhem right now stepping up to the plate.
Well, I mean, you saw that happen right after they were able to take down Zevosai. Knowing that Zevosai's out of the mix means that they can try to continue this fight. The barrage comes down as well, gets a couple of more, and this is all completely worth it. Even if they get pushed off the point, now they're in a 1 fight away position to continue going forward. It does seem like eventually Florida will clean this up, but now they have to hold for the remainder of the map.
Well, goodbye, Fate. It's gonna go and figure out just how deep that well goes. And Agility's not gonna make it out. Nicely done, Tvik. Oh, never mind.
No one expects Bunny where Bunny is.
Exactly. Tvik clearly didn't. Bunny with the one clip, that was tasty.
Well, Bunny is going up over top now. He's looking for an angle here, just wants to harass the support so that they cannot feel comfortable. Has his pulse bomb up as well. They know where he is though, that's a problem. Now he's gonna rejoin his team.
Gets the stick on Maniton, no mech there possible. Maniton now gonna be relegated to the baby diva. Tvik kind of poking around on the edges here. They're halfway to flipping this point, Los Angeles Valiant, and if they do, this could be big. Need a contest here from Florida. Florida, they're not gonna be able to do it. 85% and counting now for Los Angeles Valiant. One good fight can do it, but Florida right now, they're the ones winning it.
Yeah, they're gonna be able to get this back, which is super important for them because yet again, both of the support ults came out at the exact same time there. The thing is, it's something that on paper you don't want to do, but they've been winning the fights they're using both support ultimates. The problem is the fight after that. They're not going to have anything to work with. You're going to have Valkyrie on the other side, his self-destruct into agilities. The way he's playing, I imagine he's going to have a barrage here momentarily.
Yeah, pretty quick. Well, that's also a pretty big kill. Agilities finds a rocket on Tvik to kick things off. Hey, guess what, Hex? He's got barrage.
Yeah, now he's going for the position. He's got them in a room, but he sees the bubble, so he's going to go to the other door where he expects them to be. Beautiful setup, Agilities.
Oh, brutal, brutal. They didn't stand a chance. That besides Zupe put to sleep. And well, it is going to be now Agilities just making life difficult here. Awesome guy getting chunked immediately. Decides to go primal though. He is going to launch himself bodily onto the point. Trying to buy time here, allowing for his teammates to get back into this. Tvik will be here to contest along with Zebasai, Zupe, Zaya player. Everybody here now for Florida Mayhem, although Maniton has been sent back to spawn.
That primal range did exactly what it was supposed to have bought them enough time, but Awesome Guy, even though he's on the brink of getting out, gets clipped by a rocket. 2 now down for Florida. They're gonna need a hero play. Zebo takes out his counterpart into the hole, but not going to be enough.
No, it is not. They will tie it up now. Los Angeles Valiant 1-1. And that is going to be match point now. It's a question of whether Florida Mayhem can keep it together here and extend this series, or if the Los Angeles Valiant will get that 3-0 win.
Agilities barely died there, and he only died the one time where he overstepped his bounds, where it was clear that they were waiting to catch him there. He saw an opportunity to maybe get someone in the corner. Did not do so. The tanks were able to take him down, but other than that, he played a brilliant game on the Pharah, being aggressive at the right times, and that patience on that barrage. He wanted the main door. He saw a bubble get dropped. He says, I know they're going to be up here. The rest of the team pushes them into the barrage. No umbrella when Justice reigns from above at that angle, and they have to find a better answer than the Soldier 76. It pressures, but it does not kill.
No, it just cranks deeps out, but I mean, it's not going to happen. We could have a McCree on this map as well on Lighthouse, but it's going to be the Soldier 76 still here for Florida Mayhem, and Tvik staying on the Tracer. So let's see. Rockets continue to rain in. Agilities is so quick. He's just hitting these direct rockets. He's already up to 46% on his barrage.
I mean, who's going to do anything to him in this position? He misses his concussion blast to get himself in a different position, but it does not matter. There is no one there. They're going to have to throw Tvik on the point just to contest, but he is in a 1v2 on the point. Meanwhile, all the attention's on Agilities, but you still haven't killed him.
No, they will get the point first here. Los Angeles Valiant Discord on Agilities. That's one way to do it here. A volley as well. Somebody call Jonak. Get him to sub in here real quick. He'll deal with Agilities lickety split, but that's not going to be happening here.
Well, I mean,
obviously.
It does seem like they're almost just ignoring him, but they're not necessarily doing so because, I mean, wow. I don't know what to say about that one.
That was sick.
That's a good read to notice that the Diva is so low. You can start your barrage on the Diva and then get her out of mech. That means the Matrix is gone. All that damage goes through over the top of the mech. Gets everyone behind. Another beautiful barrage. You want to guess that they're ignoring him just based on how little damage he's taking, but they are discording him. If you're going to ignore him, completely ignore him. Take the fight on the ground, try to take a 6v4 on the ground, eat the damage that you have to eat to try to get kills on the ground, but it seems like they're still lost on how to deal with this. They've switched to a McCree, but that McCree's back in spawn, now brought back to life.
Brought back to life. That's Zebasai with the Valk out right now. Custa still has his, and he hasn't pulled the trigger just yet. Whereas we will have both trances in this next fight here. So, yet again, Florida at a bit of a disadvantage concerning the support. Ultimates to Vic, not able to get out of harm's way. Bunny, relentless, finds him. And so 60% and counting here for Los Angeles Valiant. It's on Florida Mayhem now to come up with something big, but there's the stick. Man, it's in D-Mech. Saya player, yeah, sure, you got the flash, but you lost your tank in the process.
This might be enough, though. Finally, a couple of kills back-to-back for Florida here, and they do have their Winston on the point in Primal Rage, but the Discord is on him. He's already at half HP. Saya finally collects his pound of flesh, takes agilities out of the sky.
Oh, Kareev with the plays. We got the trans coming in now as well. Space gonna be living just a little while longer, but it's looking like they're gonna decide to back off here as the High Noon gets thrown into the mix by Saya player. Still, the fight continues on this point. Fate only just now going down to Saya. And Space getting D-Mech. There's still a chance here for Florida.
Yeah, they will take it back because they lost both of their tanks early on to the Valiant. Florida is going to reset, bring everyone that they need to back to life and into the mix, but they have to hold on for the rest of this or this series is over. 96%, and the weather report says justice might just be in the forecast yet again for agilities.
Yeah, if he'd have it his way, it'd be Jerk and Stormy all day long. I mean, he's definitely doing a good job of it. Let's see. It is going to be Saya. Trying to do the best that he can here to poke agilities, but with Kusta just there to constantly top him up.
It's so difficult to deal with this. You need the Discord and you need to hit headshots in a row to be able to deal with it. And it's if you miss a shot in between 1 and 2, you're already in trouble again because of that constant pocket healing.
Ooh, oh, there was the headshot. Still, it is going to be the push. They move in together here as a unit. Valiant agilities dropping out of the sky here, ready to follow up with his tanks, but Saya is able to shut him down.
Yeah, there's 2 shots in a row finally hit for Saya. Agilities will fall. He also got the damage boost on that as well, which helps. I mean, at this point, you have to dedicate all your resources into dealing with that if that is your game plan. So you Discord him, or you get a damage boost onto the McCree, really help out. Afara is a team problem, and it takes a team effort to be able to take her out.
Oh, they've got another good push here.
Saya's trying to set up a Deadeye. I think he just walked up the stairs. No, he's going to give up on that thought. It can be a very good map for Deadeyes here because you can lurk on the stairs. Then the moment that Farah and Mercy pokes a little too far out, you Deadeye and they're both dead.
Let's see, Tvik right now putting Bunny on the back foot. Pulse gets thrown in, doesn't find anything with it. 83% now for Florida Mayhem. It's going to be on them to come up with something big, and Agilities with the monster barrage yet again will be the difference maker. You've got Kusta with the wings out as well, keeping Kareev alive, and they haven't lost anybody yet, Valiant, whereas Florida Mayhem, they're running back from spawn.
Kareev stayed alive too because after Agilities killed 2, the Mercy was free to go help out, kept him alive. Agilities back in this mix. Gonna need a giant play. Deadeye comes out. Will it find anything?
They're crouched in the corner. Tvik trying to take advantage of this, and he does do some work. Agilities is gone as well. Have they done it? Florida Mayhem. They might have just held on here as Space will get D-Mech'd. Bunny's still in this fight as well, but you've lost Kusta. You no longer have a healer. Florida Mayhem, they might have pulled it off.
It's the Tvik of old show. He has gone absolutely ham on this Tracer so far. He used to go by the name of Pluppy, and I think we're seeing old visions of Pluppy again as Florida stays in.
Keeping the series alive. The big plays at the end. You called it Hex, and they delivered. Florida Mayhem managed to bring it back 2-1 now in maps, and we will go to a map 4 where it's all on the line here. Los Angeles Valiant, they'll have their opportunity to win it, but we could get map 5 here.
Tvik leading the entire server with 40 eliminations. He was everywhere at once. They have one more map to try to force us to a game number 5. We are going to Junkertown after the break.
Nice. The monkey jumping. A monkey. Break the ball, break the ball. I don't. Point there. Okay, nice. Push on me. Kenji. It's one. Okay. Catch that. Baby. Baby one. I'm low. Nice. 4 people, maybe. Ruins. Tracer ruins. Nice one, Joe. Nice.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever. Omened by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. And by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League.
And Agility's, yeah, you know it, mate. He's going to be called on once again in a moment to try and finish this off.
In Stage 3, Week 3, the Gladiators were already up one map, so the Valiant looked to hold their rivals from the third point on Numbani with less than 30 seconds on the clock.
And the payload's racing forward.
With the Gladiators' frontline pushing in the payload, Agilities saw his opportunity. The Valiant's Genji used his Dragon Blade to take out the Gladiators' supports.
Space trying to hold Fisher at bay, who gets discarded. Now it's time for the Agility Dragon Blade. He's got one, and that's two.
Sureforce shifted his focus away from the payload and onto Agilities with a hack, but with low health, no dash or reflect, Agilities stayed alive to take down the Gladiator Sombra right before gaining a possible game-changing EMP.
He's hacked up so he can't dash and close the distance for the Sombra. He can still use health packs, but that one may have been hacked as well. Agilities may go down. No, he actually found Sureforce in the periphery. That's a huge win.
Agility survived the hack as his team cleaned up the remaining Gladiators on the point, and the Valiant won the map in the next round, and the match in a tiebreaker map.
It was 4-0 in favor of the Gladiators last stage, but now this city belongs to the Valiants.
That right there was the turning point where Agilities and the Los Angeles Valiant turned a sour moment into something sweet. Presented by Sour Patch Kids Candy.
Welcome back from the break, everybody. And yes, Hex.
Presented by.
Presented by.
I just channel my inner Chris Puckett there. I'm like, how do I read this? And then I was like, how would Puckett do it? I'm like, presented by.
Yes, Puckett does have that all-American commentator, but he's also just a straight baller. You know, you and I were in here doing our thing, you know, and then he just rolls in. He's like Krusty the Clown in The Simpsons. He just rolls up with the paper, does one read, chucks it over his shoulder, and walks out again.
I'm out of here. Drives off in his brand new Toyota. Soon is going to be coming in for Bunny as we go to Junkertown because Soon has the versatility to play Widow and everything else that they might need. Probably, you know, one of the more versatile guys on this team. That is why they are making that switch. And we are going to Junkertown, where the meta has been somewhat defined here. A lot of teams will run Bastion, but for the most part, you know, you can run a Bastion, but there's going to be extra tanks. There's going to be Widow. Widow's always going to be on first point. If you don't run a Widow, you're in trouble because it's really hard to dive a Widow on this map. It's too big. It's enormously wide open. It's probably the most wide open map in all of Overwatch, at least first point.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look at this wide space right here. It'd be tough to argue. Yeah, no, I was actually like literally just going through my mind, like, which map could be close enough? Yes, whatever. It is pretty big.
I'm sure if I'm wrong, someone will correct me. That is the nature of the business right here.
So it makes it fun because you can get like double sniper, you can get all sorts of different strategies out here. Not every day that we get to see the Hanzo in play.
Yeah, offensively for the Valiants, I think the last time they ran Bastion, they ran Kariv on the Bastion. Because you will run just a solo support, and so you'll run maybe Custa on a Mercy has been kind of the trend lately. There's the last second switch. Kariv's going to go onto the Bastion. There's the Mercy switch from Custa. They're going to try to get on this cart and set up with a Bastion.
Let's see if it's possible. Nothing can stop the trade. Oh, never mind. What a hook from Maniton.
Halts, hook, goodbye. And that is an unresable position. Now they don't even have to worry about Soon.
They don't have to worry about Soon, but they're on the payload now. Kariv, however, has been left behind somehow. See if he can actually get onto that payload again here, because he needs to start melting shields. That's the whole point of this, having this Bastion. There's nowhere to hide. You got no shields to hide behind. But Kariv, he's feeling the heat right now. And Maniton, once again, going fishing. He's going to put the pressure on Soon, not let him get comfortable.
Well, the moment that Tavik goes down, though, they just put him right back on the cart. You don't want to sit on the cart when the Junkrat's alive because it's just easy pickings for a static target right there. Agility is on the Junkrat as well. It's why he stayed on this map, because he is the projectile player for this team. Kariv will finally die. I don't know if it's enough here. Everyone's alive.
Yeah, that was beautiful work there from Agilities with the flank. Just coming right around the corner, finding those big kills, get the res off there. That's going to be Kariv back in the fight. Doesn't have to wait to get reassembled back in spawn. And so it is going to be a very quick take here for the first point as Florida Mayhem decline the contest. They're not going to make it back in time.
Died just a little bit too late there. Tavik is going to need a tire. It's one of the best ways to dislodge this kind of offense here. And I mean, it's interesting to see where Kareem is going to be. Ideally, you would like to push up as far as possible and take that high ground away. That's one of the reasons that Florida didn't come in to recontest, because you don't want to deal with a Bastion who already gets that high ground for free. Now, Tavik can just raid from above up over top and try to get this done. He is in that very typical Junkrat spot on this map.
Oh, Saya player. Tire player is waiting. Kareem, though, patient play. There's the tire coming through. Is he going to find the target? Yes, he is. Kareem is dead. Can't deny it fast enough, but he does die pretty far back. Might mean that Custer could get in here.
There's another tire out from Agilities who takes on Saya player. It is just a Goodyear tire store right now. Everyone's busting him out. Saya's back to life and soon is down. Saya needs to take advantage of this moment where there's no great counter to him on the field. Start trying to take aggressive shots.
Yeah, they can see through walls now as well. Saya player providing that with the Infosight. So we do have a couple of kills coming online here for the Florida Mayhem. They do manage to push Los Angeles Valiant back to the first point. We will get that reset. Custa with the delayed death, and I'm curious, does Karif stay on the Bastion? Looks like it. I mean, he's got tank mode.
I don't think tank mode's worth it. I do not like the ultimate. I don't think it's very good. I think you're more vulnerable in tank mode. Unless everyone is super clumped up or coming through a choke, I think you're better off staying in his other two modes, but they're going to try to give tank mode. Look, you can also just crush a team with tank mode. It's just rare to do so.
You see one of the advantages. Oh, there we go. That's one way to deal with it. Here, have this. Unfortunately, it doesn't pan out that time for Zemo.
Tank goes out. They try to do so much damage in through these big targets. But that Orisa shield is going to make sure it gets absolutely nothing done. He lived through it, so that's good.
That's good. We get the tire going through again. D-Mech going through there. So that's going to slow things down here for Space. You know, he has to work pretty hard to pick up a new mech unless he just dies. And yes, he will just die. But both bongos are out of it now. The ultimate's being used here by the Orisas, and it's on Florida Mayhem. So far, they've been doing a great job here on the second point. 3 minutes left here for Los Angeles Valiant.
I think they're stuck on this right now because they want Agilities to get his tire up. So, yeah, exactly. They're going to make one change. Kareev is going to go over to the Genji, actually. They're done with the Bastion, which is the right choice. Now, this is an interesting composition. Triple DPS, of course, Bastion and DPS, but in that kind of niche role. We'll see what Kareev can do on Genji.
Oh, Agilities, does he manage to sneak it through? Looking like it. He's going to be up high, and oh man, that tire is dropping dangerously low. 1 second left, and it's not going to find anything, unfortunately, for him. Tavik wasn't there, and so it will be the self-destruct chucked out in the open. The Hulk's there to help it along, but awesome guy going to be surviving that, as well as Manitin.
Agilities took out Tavik. That is a lot of their damage down. Zube's going to pop Valkyrie as well, but they've lost two. Have to choose which one to resurrect, and now with Manitin falling, this fight is over, and now they don't have Valkyrie either. This triple DPS has come through. Kareev, of course, always going to be a support you want to watch on DPS because, hey, former DPS player. Valiant even tried him on DPS a great portion of this season.
Oh, he's capable. This is actually working here. I'm enjoying seeing a bit of a change of pace, not so much the 2-2-2 or the meaty tanks. Get some more deeps out there.
It's usually a point where teams will go back to the double support here, add a Zenyatta into the mix, especially when you get to last here. But, I mean, if it ain't broke, right? I mean, it's working right now. Their greatest crack-through came when Kareev went to the Genji, and he's been helping out Agilities with some of this damage, and then Agilities finishing off kills.
That's just frustrating in pursuit. You look wrong way, right, as he comes around the corner. Side player yet again hits the headshot. And Space will be able to back off. Manitin back on his Diva, so let's see. Are they going to be able to find anything here with the tire? It's getting ferried in perfectly. The D-Matrix was there, and Tavik will find the kill on Fate.
Manton's done a great job this entire series of making sure that those tires get to their destination, working very well in concert with his team. Agilities and Kareev are both nearing ultimates. If these ultimates don't work, expect to see big changes. Kareev probably going to a Zenyatta. Agilities would then take over the Genji role very likely.
That shield got melted quick. Now can Agility start hitting some body shots. He does manage to connect one with Manitin. He's got that tire. He's looking for him. Awesome guy. Nade to the face. Gonna get topped up again though, and this is gonna be just a bit of the poke here coming in from Los Angeles Valiant, waiting to see. They are gonna move together. Custa with the wings out. Kareev now hunting for a target. Unfortunately finds nothing, has to settle for a tank, and that's not exactly ideal.
Doesn't even settle for a tank. It's one slash onto a mech, and that is it. Meanwhile, the tire dud came out from Agilities, but Awesome Guy was able to take care of that. Still getting a little bit of push here, but with Kareev in spawn and Agilities now joining him, you have to imagine this is a time that they want to reset, because I think Custod might even have started that resurrection and then stopped it. Yeah, Kareev is going to move over. Does Agility stay on the Junkrat? He will. Junkrat Widow's completely fine on this point. Saya.
Again.
This is the Sai that we've come to know. There's so many new Widows in the league that have gotten so good. Architect comes to mind as well. I believe we get to watch him play tomorrow.
He's beast. Soon, unfortunately for him, that's twice now where he's kind of just thrown himself in there.
Well, Suin has 2 eliminations, 1 final blow.
Yeah, he's getting shut down.
8 deaths. By far the most deaths in the server.
Let's see. They have made it a focus to get on him. They're doing a good job of it. Awesome guy. Just jumping for joy with how this defense is performing so far because there's only minute 15 left on this clock, and there we go. Space with a big double self-destruct. Tvik immediately brought back to life, so it's Saya player who will have to take the run back into this fight, but they traded 1 for 1, and so that balances things out. Florida Mayhem, they still hold.
Getting some progress here, but they've not been able to get the decisive fight they need to get any sort of decent progress, and this has been where a lot of pushes come to die. Agilities has a tire going in. Can he find anything? Tires have had very little impact this game.
He's really kind of wishing that he had space there to help out a little bit. You know? Like, but Manage does it.
Manage guards his tire in. It's not even my fault. Getting some more free push. Valiant have done a great job this whole series of just taking a meter here, a meter there, always being very cognizant of the actual objective of the game.
Yeah, stay on top of it. Every meter matters at this point as there's less than 30 seconds here to get in there. Agilities finds the kill on Tvik. Bit of weak, he's died out in the open as well. Zebasai might be able to sneak the res. He's trying for it, and he does manage to bring Tvik back into it, but that meant the healing was gone. Still managing to recover here, keeping his teammates topped up. Great healing coming in here from Zebasai.
Something very odd happened with Soon's grapple there, and he was unable to get out. He died, and he dies again to Saya player. A couple of kills, though, come in for the Valiant here late. Still trying to get a little bit of push. They've got 4 people up and alive on this cart. Some good stall possibility because the Valkyrie will expire, but Kariv now has Transcend, and Agilities will have another tire. Florida's in no position to defend this right now.
No, the push can actually succeed.
Saya.
Saya's getting stuck, he's getting stuck, he's getting stuck, but there's the bubble that saves him. Kariv decides to get the trance going here just to guarantee some presence on the point, but Agilities timing could be perfect for this tire to come right through. No trance to hide in here for the Zen, and he goes right in on top of Saya player.
Both supports down for the Valiant right now. Kariv and Custom both fell very early in this fight. It's going to be very difficult to continue pushing. They will buy a little more time with the self-destruct, but this one is just about over. Unless Space can hit something enormous here. Self-destruct. Space will get cleaned up in pilot mode, and that is where the push will end.
So the Valiant, it was looking spotty there for a moment. I mean, unfortunately for them, their strategy was kind of getting shut down, but, you know, speak of the devil. I was about to talk about Saya player. Turns out we've got a replay of him. A triple kill. And yeah, wow, man, he was just styling on Soon this whole game.
A lot of Widow play comes down to confidence, and towards the end, it was like 1v3, and he still went for these shots up above, going for it, and the confidence to put you in those weird positions means that the other team's not going to expect you in these weird positions. In Junkertown, the Widow battle is often taken by the more aggressive Widow. You think back at some plays that Pine has made on this map, where it's just that there's no way a Widow should be there. You think way back to maybe Route 66, where Saya comes all the way behind the other team and gets 3 kills from behind. That was the Saya surprise, and he's continued that kind of play style to go for these aggressive shots. What's the worst case scenario? You're gonna die. That's it, you respawn, it's fine. But if you hit those 3 kills, you just wanna fight.
I like how, well, that is because you do get a respawn, right? Yeah. Usually there's a punish there.
You get a respawn, they have to react to you, and oftentimes when they're reacting to you, the rest of your team can clean that up. So maybe you die and then you get resurrected anyway. You're a top priority for resurrection to begin with, and you're usually in a decent spot for the Widow or for the Mercy to come get you.
I had a witticism, Hex, but then I realized it was a bit too dark, so I decided like about face and get out
trust
there.
me, I already knew where you were gonna go with it, so I got it. It's all right.
So you see, you and I, we understand each other so well.
Yeah, it's yeah.
It's kind of scary.
You die, but it doesn't matter, and I just saw just the
wash,
the pallor wash over your face.
Agility's setting a trap and not exactly a common spot, so we'll see if that bears fruit.
All right. Well,
I like it. Clever in the shrubbery.
Offensively, Florida will run a Bastion as well. It's something that they're known to do on this map, but it means that Zebosai is actually going to go to an off tank. So they run a triple tank with a Bastion on this map. He'll be playing the D.Va solo support in Zupe. So Zupe needs to stay alive for any success to happen here.
Well, it doesn't look like the trap worked out, unfortunately, so we won't get the joy of that. But we will get Tvik sailing his pirate ship through the high seas of Australia. Many high seas around there. Just watch out for the reefs. Los Angeles Valiant going to be trying to put those up pretty quick.
And the spider sharks. I don't think that's a shark, but if it is, it's
I can't think of something more terrifying than a spider shark. That is the stuff of nightmares, Hex. Please don't put that in my mind.
Manatin bullies soon out of the corner, and this Saya is going to take his place over there, trying to get that far left angle. Meanwhile, Awesome Guy got hooked and his dad. Tires have not found anything. You got to really surprise a Bastion to get a tire in on him based on the damage he does.
Yeah, you got to catch him sleeping, or when he's rebooting, or when a Windows update comes online. He has no choice. So, Twick, he's doing his thing, kind of floating around left, right, center. And Florida Mayhem still trying to crack this open here. Will they find the decisive kill? Saya player, always a man to count on. Just hoping for somebody to overextend. He gets a grenade to the face, though, and that's going to cause him to reconsider. And yet again wins the duel. Hands down versus Soon, who is still only sitting on 2 final blows.
3 eliminations, 2 final blows, 13 deaths. Soon has gotten it handed to him on this map.
Oh, well, hooks all over the place. They abounded plenty in space. We'll find the one. Manatin is gone out of this fight. Will be difficult for Zupe to bring him back to life. Given where he died, Fate dropping dangerously low, but then Karib decides to go whole hog on these kids, and well, he's gonna be launching them bodily, left, right. It is going to be...
I mean, they got Tavik, but Saya is still alive. They're going to bring Tavik back to life in this situation. Karib is going for a little something with his tank, but they're both getting yoinked. So much damage coming through. Tank mode out.
Looking for targets, though. These Orisa shields are so pesky. And then the D-Matrix as well, denying a lot of it. It is going to be the trade 1-for-1. Bongos get eliminated, but the kills, this is just chaos right now as both teams are trading back and forth, but this will favor Florida Mayhem. As you can see, the guys who died already respawned, already running back. An Awesome Guy hasn't even left the payload. They're making progress.
Yeah, he's making progress. He is all alone, but there's a lot of fire behind him. So even if they're focusing Awesome Guy, there's just too much happening. Soon is going to wait for the sweet release of death. They will oblige him. Soon goes back to spawn. Now the question is, has anyone in a decent position here? And Saya just continues to run wild on this map. Again, look at this angle. Look how far he is. You're not expecting this.
That is so sick. Just hitting headshots as well, man. The guy is bonkers. What is his crit rating so far is 33%. That's pretty sick.
1 out of every 3 shots he's hitting the dome. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. We consider 20% to be good. 33 is just unfathomable.
Oh, let's see. Now you can see him through walls as well. He's taking his time. May have gotten a little ahead of himself there, but he's another headshot and then a kill. Okay, then.
It's just demoralizing at this point from Soon. At some point, do you just get off of the Widow? You put agilities on Genji to go deal with him. You do something about this, because right now, Saya player's eating your lunch.
Let's see. Now you just kind of hold your breath, waiting. Guy doesn't really miss.
Oh, they've also got Tavik on the high ground. Agility is going to try to come through here and get a hero play through the left-hand side, but tank mode up again. I can't remember the last time I saw 2 tank modes this quick back-to-back.
Self-destruct there from Zebo. He will be able to get some progress made here, however, on that payload. Nobody to challenge from the Valiant. They're not willing to commit. There we go. Finally, Soon stepping it up. Finds the headshot on Tavik. That's going to end that party. The boost, the bongo, the supercharger was down for a long time, though, and that allowed for some quick kills coming here from Florida Mayhem, quickly overwhelming the defense.
Bring it up, and Tavik is back to life. Florida is making quick work of this map. 4 minutes remain for them to push through just before last. And Saya is about to have Infrasight up. Finally, they do something to deal with Saya. Fate goes over to Winston to jump him. Agility's now on Genji to pressure him down. Soon's gonna stay on this Widow to see if he can get something going to clean up when his other pressure comes in, but he's gotta be your priority #1 right now, and look at it, he's just taking another angle. Oh my God!
Oh, there we go, Saya! Triple kill from him! The huge plays, just tombing him. Get out, Valiant! So sick, Saya. Well, this is an example of how to hard carry, ladies and gentlemen. There you go, Saya player. Perfectly done.
I mean, what do you even try to do right now? You have to send everything at Saya, but if you're leaping over the cart, Tavik is just gonna gun you down before you even get there. Finally, Agilities gets on Tavik. Can they get enough pressure that he doesn't get resurrected? He's been brought back to life several times. Meanwhile, Saya continues to dominate any comers. He's gotten Soon off the Widow, and it doesn't matter.
Still kills him. I mean, what did Soon do to deserve this? Oh, that was a krill hook. Manatin, though, it's not going to help him as the reflect is up for Agilities. He survives, and Los Angeles Valiant finally winning a fight.
And they have finally stabilized here. And also pretty bad, Zupe had to use the Valkyrie to get out. They're going to change up nearly everything now. They're going to switch over towards a more classic dive. In fact, everyone switches over to the dive. We've got Tracer, Genji, Winston, Diva, the hallmarks of the dive, the supports, mix and match and dive nowadays, but those are the 4 you look for.
Well, Saya gave us a show, you know, it's fine, it's fine. I'm okay with it.
It's almost going to be tragic if they cannot finish this map now based on the great play that we saw, but the Valiant's economy in a much better condition now because all these switches just came in. Agility is going to clean it up.
Ah, that was brutal. The triple for Agilities, putting them on blast. Delayed kill there onto Vic, taking their time about it.
I mean, it's okay, but you would have rather had that fight go longer because you want to get ults out of Valiant while building your own ultimates. When you make wholesale changes, nearly everyone switched heroes there.
Yeah.
So you're not going to have ultimates to work with. They did it at the right time. There was about 3-something minutes remaining, so they will get ultimates up at least once. Florida is also a team that is known to bank ultimates, and they might be looking for that. They only really need one more push.
They need one big push, but so long as the Valiant don't feel the heat right now, they'll be holding on to those ults ready and waiting for Florida Mayhem to decide to get in here, as Agilities is getting pressured. That Discord definitely hurting, but he will get topped up again. Soon is there to lend a hand as well. And so far, they are keeping that presence on the payload. Although, as I say that, Saya player able to sneak a few extra meters there for Florida Mayhem.
And Soon goes down to check him. Soon knows a little bit about backcaps himself. This fight's over. Both supports down for the Florida Mayhem. Have to reboot now. Zebo nearly online with his ultimate. Zupe needs a ways to get there, but it should come online in the next fight if they should want it. This is where Tavik will be tested. He is a versatile player, has a lot of heroes in his pool. Can he give you the Genji we've seen lately from him to win this map for his team?
Now is the time. Agilities is coming online with the Dragon Blade as well. But Costa, it's a question of how quickly can he get Valk. His teammates right now soaking some damage. 40 seconds left on the clock here for Florida Mayhem to make the play. It's on Tavik. Yes, you require healing. Get topped up and get to work. He's looking for that angle. He's spotted the back line. He knows that there's going to be a Tracer hanging around here somewhere. Just going in to help, but soon is going to be able to dash back to safety.
Valkyrie is out for Zebo side. Now is the time to go. Zupe's going to have Transcendent. Saya goes down very early in that duel. And now with the Valkyrie going out, he's still getting pressured in the back line. There's no time for Resurrection. They're going to try the res anyway. They do. They get it off.
They get it off. That's big. And now it's on Tvik. He sees his opening. He's going to go in here straight for the throat, trying to find the kills. But in the meantime, Agilities is making a hash of his team. Zebasai, Zupe, Saya, all dead. Agilities, he finds the Monster Dragon Blade. And that might be the end here for Florida Mayhem. It is 2-1. Los Angeles Valiant, they're winning this fight hands down. No hope here for Florida, and it ends 3-1, the final score for the Valiant.
That's not a knife. This is a knife, and he takes him down. Agilities proves himself the better cyber ninja this day. Just gutted for Florida. Again, they give us such close matches. They play up to their competition. Saya with the hard carry, but in the end, the Valiant figured out an answer to Saya, forced him off of the Widow. A great adjustment from the Los Angeles Valiant, and they will walk away from this series bruised but not broken, 3-1.
No, far from it. Just looking at some of the stats before we throw it over here, we will have an interview momentarily. Saya player 19 final blows, but then you're on the other side, right? Agilities 18. Agilities was going to work as well, and with those high impact ultimates, he's getting 2 kills, he's getting 3 kills, he's ending fights in the same way that these picks from Saya, I mean, a beauty to behold, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't enough today for the Florida.
They certainly waited until the last second to switch into the correct composition to deal with Saya. I mean, at some point, enough is enough. Everyone get off it, and he has to be your focus. They do that, everything comes together. I would have liked to see the switches a little earlier because Agility's Genji is his best hero. He's a fine Junkrat, has some good plays on Junkrat. His Genji's his best hero. That's when this team is at their most dynamic. He's known for those enormous plays, and he delivered.
He's a daring, he's a bold Genji. He gets in there, he takes risks, just like Saya player was doing earlier. Agilities, he was doing work. We're actually gonna get to hear from him now. He's there on the floor with Zoe.
Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, I have Agilities from the Valiant with me. Please give it up for him and his team. Last game of the day, and what a victory it is. Now, let's talk a little bit about what we just saw. When I talked to your coach during halftime, he told me, yeah, we're going to try out some new stuff today. I didn't really see the wheel being reinvented, but we did see some Genji Lucia strats from you guys. Is that something you've been practicing on recently?
Well, we didn't really try like too many new things today. Mainly we just changed maps, so like I played Numbani, then I played Junkertown and stuff, but that's not really different. So we just kind of did the basic stuff and it worked out.
What's the comfort level at the moment for you guys in this meta, in this stage?
It was good at first, but obviously we hit a kind of a wall. We lost 2 matches in a row, so we're kind of just like trying to get back into things. We have a lot of things to work on with our communication and our backline and stuff, and just like protecting them. So we have a lot of things to work on going forward, but I think we're in a good spot, and we're positive looking forward to it.
Well, that's great to hear. We can't wait to see more from you and the team on this stage. Thank you so much for taking the time for a quick chat. We're now going to head over to the desk to break down the action.
Thank you so much, Zoe. All right, so the Valiant match the Gladiators win with a win of their own, but they get it done in 4 maps. To be honest, though, I thought that one was going the distance to a 5. We got Bren, we've got Sideshow, we've got 2 games to get through. Let's get into Ilios right now as we take ourselves back to control. Florida comes to life on this map. Ilios sees Vic on Tracer, Saya player on the Widow, making a major impact.
Yeah, I think this is honestly, Sideplay has had such a ridiculous performance on Widowmaker. And I mean, I don't want to say it, but I kind of do want to say it. I think it's probably the best Widowmaker I've seen all league long in Junkertown in particular.
Yeah.
Because he was uncontested the entire game. It was like watching a Grandmaster player in a bronze match on Widow. He was just taking so many shots and nobody could realistically shut him down.
Saya player is incredible, and we were looking at him when he came into this team and we were like, okay, his Widowmaker looks awesome, but maybe it's a small sample size. We need to see more from this guy. But he has been performing consistently, phenomenally throughout all of the games. And when it came to Junkertown, like you were saying, he was performing really well on McCree, on Soldier, on Ilios, and then he's on his Widow for the majority of Junkertown and went crazy. He made Soon look average, and Soon is normally a really good Widow.
Exactly, and the weird thing is as well, we're bigging up Sideplay this much, and yet they still didn't win at Junkertown. They still didn't win it. And he was hitting unreal shots off. Like, it was actually ridiculous. The man has clearly been
What more
practicing
does he
his
have
Widow
to do,
Deathmatch.
though?
In fact, I actually played against Sire Player in Widow Deathmatch the other day, and he ruined me. He absolutely destroyed me. And
That's not a surprise.
It's scary, his own Widow player.
There it is, best play of the week right here.
That was a phenomenal 4K here. Just 3 insta headshots. But Florida, you're playing with a guy this good and you're still not able to get the wins. There's something fundamentally going wrong with the Florida Mayhem. And yes, they're improving, but it's the same situation as the Shanghai Dragons. They're improving, but the rest of the field is improving faster than they are. Florida Mayhem got the win over the Valiant last time they faced in Stage 2. And this time, the Valiant, with their retooled roster, able to play just the default, the Genji, the Tracer. Agility's coming up with insane clutch plays with those Dragon Blades again and again, and just shuts them out of the fight repeatedly. It was close, but not close enough.
We were talking quite a bit about Saya player today. He is not our player of the match, sponsored by Omen by HP, but we do want to show you his stats anyway. We mentioned Soon, one of the great snipers in the league. Well, Saya player outshined him. 24 final blows to just 7. You see the final blows on the opposing Widow, though, 9-1. Dominance in those fights.
Right, the most ridiculous part about this is the fact that he has almost 34% critical hit accuracy. I have never seen a number this large before in Overwatch League. This is actually unbelievable, so much so that I think we should be checking his mouse software, because honestly, I cannot stress enough how ridiculous that is.
I thought you were just saying you've literally in your life never seen a number as large as 33.
What are numbers at the end of the day?
I could believe that. I could honestly believe
good
it.
with words, not so much math or words. All right. Side players' numbers were great, and 33% ridiculous when it comes to the headshots. But today, our player of the match, sponsored by Omen by HP, goes to a Valiant player, and it's got to be Bunny. The Tracer gets the award today.
Even though Agilities came out with those big clutch Dragon Blades towards the end of Junkertown to close it down, it was Bunny that was performing consistently well throughout the entire match, just ruining Florida's backline repeatedly. And then later on in the stages, he just continued that performance, keeping them in games, keeping them in fights. And although the reverse sweep looked like it was happening, he shut it down in the end.
Yeah, definitely passed the eye test, at least in this match. He pulse bombed. I want to know what a stick percentage was, because he played out of his mind, and look at that,
there
50%.
You go. That is incredibly high.
It is.
You very rarely see over half of the pulse bombs being attached and leading to a huge amount of pulse bomb kills as well. Particularly in the earlier half of the series, he was going nuts.
Very nice stuff. Bunny helps set the tone as the Valiant get a win tonight. And now you can see in our stage standings, Valiant still in the playoff run. At the end of next week, 4 teams will move on to play in our championship matches on Sunday for the Stage 3 title. Boston, New York, Valiant, and Gladiators currently in the 1 through 4 position, with Dynasty, Shock, and, well, the Outlaws a few steps behind them.
Shock's got a pretty good chance of being able to get into that next spot. LA Valiant, even though they got the win today, that was a must-win, but they've got Philadelphia Fusion and Boston next week. Those are tough games, and Shock are breathing right down their neck.
And you mentioned the Shock. Well, they're playing against London, but this is not the scary London anymore. London coming off some serious losses right now. They are struggling in Stage 3. Shock going to try and take advantage of it at 1 p.m. tomorrow.
And that game at 3 p.m., Seoul Dynasty against the NYXL. I remember that matchup from Stage 2. It was amazing.
Mate, this has potential to be a certified banger of 2018. Like, God almighty, look at that one. Seoul versus New York.
The Bren stamp of approval.
That is the Bren stamp of approval.
The certified
Just nod in agreement. No, I don't blame you, man.
Is it worth anything, though? I love you, Brett. I don't know why I picked on you all day long. We had a great time here in the Blizzard Arena, and we hope everyone else had an amazing time. Remember, you can always get your tickets on AXS.com, but if you're watching online on Twitch.tv, make sure you're watching with the All Access Pass, because after this show, immediately after, we got an AMA with one of my favorite Frenchmen. It's Soon from the LA Valiant. That's it for tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific.